The Romans' Quest, Escape from Rome, Chapter 1, Pyrrhus. The Emperor's men came at midnight. Juba heard the banging on the distant front door as his mother shook him awake. "Juba," she cried, "you have to leave, now!" In the flickering light of a bronze oil lamp, he could see that she was wearing his father's winter cloak, even though it was a warm summer's night. Her tawny hair, the same colour as the cloak, was loose, making her seem much younger than her 33 years. She pulled off Juba's sheet, helped him sit up, and thrust his baby sister into his arms. Baby Dora was fast asleep, wrapped in his mother's blue paya. "What's happening?" he yawned. His mother quickly fastened his best leather travelling belt around his waist, then knelt to put on his boots. "Why are you putting on my boots?" He looked around groggily. "Where's Titianus?" "The slaves have gone," she said, standing up. "Gone? Where?" "Away, and you must too." She pressed something into his hand. At first, he thought it was a clay oil lamp. Then he saw that it was an ampulla, a baby's feeding bottle. It was made of black glazed clay and was decorated with a grinning actor's mask to keep evil away. The nozzle end and the filling end were both sealed with beeswax, but he could still smell milk. It was full and heavy in his hand. He stared at it stupidly. "I don't understand. Why are you giving me Dora's feeding bottle?" "Because I can't go with you." His mother took the ampulla and put it into the neck of his tunic so that it slipped down and was caught where the belt cinched his waist. "Keep it there," she said. "Your body will help it stay warm." Then she took the tawny cloak from her shoulders and put it on him. "This is your father's Pyrrhus Britannicus, worth a fortune. He told you its secret, didn't he?" Juba nodded. His father had told him it was from a province called Britannia, at the edge of the known world. "Good. And do you remember who gave it to him?" Juba nodded. "Uncle Pantera. He brought it from Britannia." "Which is where you must go," she said. He could feel her fingers trembling as she fastened the boxwood toggle at the neck, and another crash came from the front door, 2 courtyards away. He frowned. "What do you mean? Where must we go? I don't understand what's happening." "The Emperor Domitian is taking possession of our house and everything in it. Your father and I will stay here and distract his men long enough for you to escape." Escape? Juba wondered if this was all a strange dream. But he knew it wasn't when she took his shoulders and shook him. "Juba, listen. Someone has denounced us. Do you know what that means?" Juba nodded. His tutor, Serapion, had been teaching him about Roman law. It's when an informer, a delator, accuses someone of treason against the emperor and takes them to court. If he wins his case, then he confiscates the traitor's property and divides it with the emperor. She nodded. "And the delator always wins because the emperor always gains. Juba, someone has denounced us. Your father and I will stay behind to divert the emperor's guards so you can take Fronto and your sisters as far from Rome as possible. Go to your uncle Pantera in Britannia. He has a seaside villa near a town called Londinium. Here." She reached behind her neck and took off her necklace. "Your Minerva cameo?" He stared at the gem on its gold chain. Carved in 4 different coloured layers of sardonyx, it showed the goddess in profile. "But it's worth a fortune." "No, Juba. It is worth 4 fortunes. 1 for each of you. The money you raise from its sale should buy you your passage to Britannia, with enough left over to get you to your uncle's villa. She tucked the cameo out of sight in the neck of his tunic. I've also put gold in your belt pouch. When you get to Ostia, buy a slave girl who can nurse the baby. Buy a slave girl? He stared at her. Yes, take her with you on the ship to Britannia. If you can't find a wet nurse, a goat will do. If all that isn't enough, you have everything you need right here. She patted his chest. Do you understand? He stared down at his baby sister, small but solid, with creamy brown skin and silky black curls. She was already very beautiful. A distant splintering crash told Juba that the front door had finally been broken. He heard his father's voice, deep and angry. His mother's cold hands on his cheeks brought Juba's head round so that she could look him in the eye. He could see she was fighting tears. Juba, your brother is older, but you know he's different. You have to be a brave leader, like your hero, Aeneas. Promise me you will do everything in your power to save the children. Juba felt sick, but he took a deep breath and nodded. I promise, he said, feeling the weight of his baby sister in his arms. His mother kissed his forehead. Farewell, my son. I love you. Then she pushed him through the curtained doorway and into the courtyard.